tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Yeah, we dey send them go down. 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 Tell them say we there. Tell them say we there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say we there. Tell them say we there. We dey send them go down. We dey send them go down. Yeah, we dey send them go down. We dey send them go down. Enjoyment there. Look, Mami Talabi and Pape Charlie. Yeah, and you oju, see bonu oju, and the man oju. Tinde ya bonu, man dey ask if na bad at all. Tell them say we there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say we there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say we there. Tell them say we there. Yeah, we dey send them go down. Tell them, we dey send them go down. Yeah, we dey send them go down. Tell them, we dey send them go down.
And the sound sensation comes from the nation.
And they play Kpakio, do the dancing and they go down low. All my boys chatty, they rocky, yeah. I need you there, Stabby again, Minister out there. Music set there, they go make you enjoy the music, tell them, tell them say we there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say we there. Tell the neighbor, tell them say we there. Tell them say we there. We dey send them go down. 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 We dey send them go down.
Baba fella take it before, we should tell them. Politicians for power, they do ones for power. Politicians for power, we go flash them.
All right, brand new one here from Lagos, Nigeria. We go flog politicians.
Politicians for power, we go flash them. Politicians, they know what you need before they enter the game. They say do like that.
We flog politicians, eh? Okay, welcome to the show. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the program Profile Liberia. Our studio guests we shouldn't be in, eh? But now we'll be here. We flog politicians.
Magically, when I walk up, see that you're not in that party, and that party, God bless this money. Country, yeah, for Nigeria, pastor won't be president. For Nigeria, commander won't be president. For Nigeria, era won't be president. For Nigeria, lawyer won't be president. So many party for my country. PDP party, PDP party, Alliance of GPT party, politicians for
tell you, you don't want to see the video, man. We flog politicians. Flogging politicians in the street, the hell. Taking them from their cars, beating them. African, they want to teach them lessons now. All right, welcome to the show. Soon we'll be joined by our studio guests. By now we'll be here. Yes, connection is happening. Small now. We can see the connection going through. Soon we'll be in Monrovia, Liberia. Good afternoon. It's great to be here. Profile Liberia. Let's try again and see who we can get our studio guests. Internet connection between us. All right, I think we're getting it little by little now. And I think we can see her now sitting cool. We're a flop politician. The new music in Nigeria. This music came just before the election last week. God. We're flop politicians. Okay, our own was it. We flog all the people that are sitting our $16 billion. I didn't want to flog. Yeah. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's great to be here. Once again on your most worst program on our platform. This is Profile Liberia. We profile Liberia on issues of national concerns as well. This is why we bring people here. We talk about issues related to Liberia, and we also involve you inside because we give you the opportunity to voice out on some of the issues that we normally cover here. So welcome. A lot of things, a lot of development going on in Liberia, and many things to talk about. Nimba County, the situation in Nimba is still hanging there. We don't know how is that being handled. We don't know actually. The situation of concession agreements and everything. A company is suing the secretary of the Senate as well. That is also in the news. A lot going on. Rape cases are still going on as well, and the recent arrest now of individuals regarding the report. So we hope we'll cover some of the issues anyway. As soon as we start off with our studio guests. This is about Liberia, it can be so frustrating. We just had our guest trying now to introduce the program, the show, and the guest, the internet just made her to disappear. So she have to come back again. Yeah. Our understanding is that the finance minister is back in the country. But the only thing we're understanding as well, there is no arrest being made. But for me, I will reiterate my call. The state security. We know they have a department that deals with economic sabotage or so. Economic crimes. I am still calling on the state security. There are key people that you need to arrest. And in fact, I will even include my own uncle inside, not arresting but inviting them for questioning. Yeah, not arresting them. Arrest is different. But inviting them to question them. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what we can go back to. We can go back. You guys hope the internet will not kick her out again. Invite the former president of Liberia, and if possible, invite the former vice president of Liberia. invite the former bank governor, or he being arrested, isn't it? I think so, yeah. Oh, it is. What happened again? We're trying to get Kpana here. Kpana here. All right, I think we got her now. Kpana, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Max.
Good. You hearing me clear?
Yes, I'm working on that. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's hope the internet will give us the opportunity to have a kind of at least an exchange of ideology here today. Welcome. How are you doing,
Yeah.
Kpana?
Well, I'm fine, Max. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good as well. I'm very well. Thanks for asking. How
Okay.
is Monrovia today? Tense?
Um,
Hot?
Manila is
Cool?
fine. The weather is really cool, so it's fine.
It's like we normally say in Liberia, we say it's like you're taking it to the better way, right? You at home.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes again, sometimes for some of us, they kind of time. Sorry, you're just about to lose me. Sometimes it can reach a certain point. Sometimes even radio say you won't listen to it and think, but
Yes, yes. You turn the radio on. You the time you if it's your video, you either pause it or your phone. You won't throw
yeah,
it. On.
right. Right. Our studio guest, we're going to give us small a chance for all of you, perhaps that don't know her, and what she engaged in, to just tell a little bit about herself also. Let me give you some time so you can introduce yourself to us and the wonderful, wonderful people that are following us right now. Thanks to all of you that are sharing the video. Thank you very much.
Well, my name is Kpana Nnadia Gaygay. A full-blooded Liberian. I'm not a full-blooded Liberian, so I'm into writing. So I guess we should leave it at that. So.
All right. Into writing, she's an author. I mean, the big English word, they say author. Author mean and that's Martin,
Yeah,
somebody who spend hours putting ideas together and then turn it into book and for people to sit down somewhere on your airplane, on the ship or wheresoever you are, you're reading that book. So she's an author. Yeah, indeed, she's an author, and also I think I guess you are one of the funders of the Morovia Reads, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I'm a team member of Maneuver Reads.
Wow, yeah, we came across that. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But first of all, Pana, we'll talk about your book as well because this is a platform now. We're going to talk about your book a little bit before we end up maybe talking about a little bit about Liberia also because sometimes we're doing a lot in our community also, but lack of a kind of information dissemination, links many people do not know who is doing what, even though we're doing something remarkable that people even in the diaspora are supposed to know. They don't know, but it's great that you accept our invitation today and once again to come on the platform here. First of all, you're into writing. Why have you chosen that side? This is it, Liberia. We don't even care about reading. Now I'm talking about reading or writing also. Why have you gone into writing?
But I don't know. We don't care. That has been an argument most of the time. Maybe we've not been fed with the materials that we need in order for us to read. So, uh, but I think we're getting back to that point where we want to read with the fact that people are so much interested right now in you know, gathering information on their own and not just someone telling them, oh, I read about this, I read about that. But why I got into writing, I am someone that loves reading in the first place. So I'm not sure if I should say it is just natural because most of the time, people who actually love reading, and it's not just about let's say want to be Everybody. Those who are really who really love reading, most of them turn out to become writers. Not all the time, but so I grew up loving reading so much. So and I think that's how it all started, and I started to try my own writing.
Right. So is it something? Because sometimes we get this kind of a push, not that parents but will push us, but sometimes it can be in the family, either maybe grandmother, grandfather, or mother. So is it something that is in your family? Writing, reading also?
No, no. I think I'm the first published author in my family. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Now your book itself, give us the title first. Show all the book, and if you can, if you can, show all the book. Let's see see the book and get to know the title as well. Do you have the book with you there?
Yes. So I hope it's clear.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit. Yeah.
So, the book
What
is
is
the book
what
is
is the title of the book?
the title is Daunting Years: The Liberian Civil War in the Eyes of a Child.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So.
Wow. Now,
Mhm.
um, before we go further, yeah, the cover of the book, we've seen a little child there. Uh, I don't know who is that, the character there also. But does the cover of the book goes along with the story that is in it?
Yes, when we were doing the cover for the book, we had a lot of covers coming up from the graphic designers and stuff, but we wanted something that will depict, what the book is actually about, and like looking at the image, the cover image here, you see like a child is frightened, the fear, everything in the face. So that's
Mm.
why yeah. So I wanted something that would go along with the title, like if you see Liberian Civil War in the eyes of a child, and you see a
Mhm.
frightened child trying to hold on to the mother. So
Right. Uh, And then the title of the book itself now, and attaching it with the Liberian Civil War, means that specifically you must have gone through some experiences that made you to actually write this book. First of all, um, where was you? Where were you? How old were you during the between the period 1989 to 2003?
I know nothing about 89, so let's leave from there. I was nowhere near being born in 89 actually.
I
I
mean, the
was
Civil
born.
War started at that time. In between there,
Yes,
if
it
you're
started,
born
and that's
before,
what I'm saying. The Civil War started 89 years, but my story doesn't go to that point because I wasn't born during that time. So it's
right,
yeah, it's basically from when I started remembering things. I was born 92, and then what happened after 92, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was an election. 97, we had Charles Taylor, and then 98, 99, how we went back into the war. So basically the story starts from there in somewhere in 99, the early 2000s. So I don't know anything about 89. Whatever happened in 89 is out of my story because I was not born around that time. So.
so your experiences is from that period you're talking about. Now,
Yes.
in terms of the story itself, before we come to the main character of the story of the book, um, if you can take us through what was your own personal experience beside what you put in the book? How was it like? And do you still have flash memories that can just pop up and you say, "Wow, I remember this."
It's interesting that sometimes I'm sitting with my mother, and then some things click to my mind. I'm like, Ma, you remember that time and so thing happened? And then she's like, Ah, Kpana, how you manage to remember all that things? So yes, those things are still fresh on my mind. And sometimes people ask you like, "Oh, you were too small at time, and what didn't you remember?" And I'm like, "Okay, so it is." You think like I'm a child, growing up as a child. What so much did I care about? Maybe first and foremost, I wanted to be film and stomach full and passing around and playing. That's so much of a concern as a child, nothing else. So if a child goes hungry for days without eating, and a child sees someone being killed, and you think those are not things that the person can remember. I don't know, because at that time, that there's not much like an adult today. There are things that happened 2, 3 years ago that I somehow may not remember, because there's so many things now that occupy my mind. But as a child growing up 5, 6, 7, you have basically nothing to worry about. So things stay with a child more than an adult, because you have so much on your mind that you're thinking about, that there are little details you probably may not remember, but not a child. So things that will happen in during your childhood, you can still remember some of them actually. So that's how it's like. So yes, there are still clear memories of the war. Watching someone being killed. That's one thing that's never going to leave my mind actually. So
One thing about what happened in our country, irrespective of the age, is that uh, there's one thing left with us, which is a psychological effect. We all,
mhm.
especially those of us that live in the war, even if you live there for 2, 3 years before you had the opportunity to live. But if you really, went through and you listened to the guns and you saw bodies or so, that effect will stay on. But in terms of direct uh, effects of the war, did you experience anything in the family directly? Or you were one of those that are just moving from one point to another when the people come in and you're going from?
Yes, so yes, I have my brother. My brother was killed. My elder brother was killed actually, and other,
Oh, sorry.
you know, family members were killed. So, but we wouldn't move around from one place to another. If you're sitting down in Monrovia and they say, "Oh, the program is here, guns are," you find a way to either go bombing wherever the guns are not being heard, at least for that time. So it was a kind of migration during the war from one point to another.
No, but how did it come about then? Because I mean, you went through you were going through this, moving from one point to another, taking mattresses or so if you're able to take whatever little from one point to another. I mean, and as a teenager at the time, I can say, let me put it that way. As a teenager at the time, I mean, how were you able to actually start to take note and to take things down, to now turn it into a book?
No, I didn't take things down when the war was ongoing. Actually, yeah, I wasn't even in school at the time. You know, somewhere 99, 2000, when the one we call now World War 1, 2, and 3. It actually started in Lufa. So Lofa was unstable in between 2000, from the beginning after Taylor's election. Lofa was more unstable than other places. So I wasn't in school, so I didn't write at that time. I wrote the manuscript for this book in 2009. Now when I was in the ninth grade, so it didn't happen during the war. Actually, I didn't even know how to spell my own name at the time, so
No way.
I couldn't
I
write.
think you are, to be honest with you, you are a genius. Honestly, I thought, yeah, wow. Now, let's go inside the book more, and then we follow to ask you some questions later. How many characters do you have in the book?
So this is not like about characters basically. I think I'm the main. I'm the main character. These are personal accounts of my experiences and that of my family during the war. So basically it's me, my mother, my sisters, my brother, and everything. So it's a family
Right.
account of
Okay.
yes,
Right.
it's a
All right.
family
So
experience.
now, I mean, you can maybe any page or so to just share with us just before we go further. Um, Before we can come later on to tell the people how the book, where they can get the book also. Um, which part of a bit that you can share with us that we can actually take from here?
So there's actually an account where it's funny most of the time when I read it. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then
Oh,
when it was happening. And most times when I read, and people who are from Lofa, especially the Kolahun region, um, they kind of relate to that particular event, and that's why most examples can say maybe you just listen to people talk and then you wrote. I said no, those are things that I experienced firsthand. Somebody would tell me that I was hungry. When I went hungry, somebody would tell me how I ran. You know, I was lazy anyway, very lazy. So anytime they say, yeah, let go, I have my little plastic bag or lapel that will tie my few pieces of clothes in it, and then I will hold it in my hand and be running. So that's not something that somebody like have to explain to me that you used to be running, because I know I ran. Yeah, so but there's something that happens somewhere in Kolahon, like doing the war or not even doing the war, like even nowadays we see a lot of people coming with prophecy and other things. There were once some years back, we were told that we should eat potato greens for 3 days, even during the Ebola, we woke up somewhere around 1, 2 a.m. We're bathing with salt water.
right.
Because they said it would, yes, it would prevent you contracting Ebola. So there was a point in time where we heard that this man lied down, and in his dream, God appeared to him and showed him a particular leaf that, you know, he woke up and he still remembered the leaf, and then he would go in the bush, pick the leaf, come and, put it in water, do whatever he needed to do, and people would troop to the village to him to collect that water that he makes with the leaf. So it was alleged that when you took bath with that water or you drink it, you could be immune to bullets. So people who were in Kolahon, and the thing is, I'm not sure of the year, so even in my writing, I did not include year, but those are events, those are happenings that people who were around the place at the time can actually attest to that. Yes, this particular thing did happen is true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so many people used to. I was with my uncle. He's even still alive. He read a book and he laughed because they went for the water. He went for the very big gallon. They brought it in the house, and then he took one of his shirts. He put it in the water and washed it. And then if you use the water to wash the shirt, you can't squeeze it. You just hang it up and let it dry. So whether you wear that shirt for 10 days, you wear it for 1 month, the taboo was don't wash it. Just take it up and hang it dry, because if you wash it, then the power will go away. So he washed the shirt, he hang it up, and then he decided to test it. So, he had his own little single barrel at the time. And so he went, hang the shirt up, and when he shot at the shirt, the bullet passed through the shirt. So everybody started laughing. So then how is this going to protect you if if the bullet can pass through the shirt, then when you wear it at the time it will protect you? But it was even unfortunate to learn that when the village that a particular prophet was in was attacked, he got killed and by a bullet. So imagine the hopelessness. And I was stubborn actually, and then my mother kept that thing in one bottle. Every time she hear gun sound, she go under the bed, she will go take it away and bring it. When she open it, look, Max, the thing is smelling, it stink. He makes leaf in water. That odor, it was so awful. and she would bring it up. We should drink it, wrap it on you. I said, "Ma, I'm wrapping that thing on me." Oh." And she would beat me. You not let to listen to people. You let to do your own thing. So that's why most of the time when I say that, sometimes I'm hard to believe things. That recently, the pastor that resurrected this guy, and while I was talking about it, she just looked at me and laughed. She's like, "You can't change. The same thing you used to do last time when they tell you say do they want you say la not true, it can't happen, it can't happen, you still bringing it with you." So I don't know. But maybe we'll read at the end of the of the show. So I don't know. What do you think?
In terms of, when you started collecting the materials now to say, well, look, I want to turn this story into what others can benefit. Let's say I want to turn it into something that somebody can read tomorrow and connect, like what you're talking about, because sometimes these stories can really connect us. It's just a poetry when we those are all that writes. When you writing the poetry, you attaching it with certain community, certain environment or so that when somebody is reading they can actually put themselves in. So how has it been since you actually resurrected? Thank you for bringing the word restoration in the picture. How did you resurrect the whole book issue? How was it, especially in like you sitting in Liberia there, um, putting these kind of ideas together is one thing, but then it's showing that you have a copy like what you have it now. You're showing all the hard copy of it. How was it? I mean, was there any point in time you thought, well, I think this is it. I'm just gonna give it also, or you just say, well, let me push. How was it?
So the truth is, when I started writing, when I did a manuscript for the book, I was in ninth grade. So I think I have plenty of time on my hand. I went to a boarding school, Bramley, so most of my friends still they do remember that when it came to me, I was just sitting down somewhere and reading whole day. So, but having a book published is not really an easy thing. And in the first place, I didn't write with the hope of maybe one day it will be published or something. Like I wasn't what should I say educated to any of those things, knowing that you can write a book and then somebody will come and publish it. That wasn't the intent when I was writing. I think I was just writing for the fun of it. So most of the time I would just write and give it to somebody. I had one friend, she was my senior in high school that used to like reading anything I wrote. So every time we just maybe a short story or something and give it to her and she would be there. Oh, when I can write it. So I did a manuscript out there and just give it to her. She read it. Oh, power. So you remember all the things that happened to you? Not smart thing also. But I honestly didn't write with that intention that I'm going to write and have it published. It wasn't on my mind. And I said I wrote in 2009 and the book got published in 2017. So you can imagine the time gap.
So I mean, you were you were. I mean, which class were you when you started putting the material together?
I was in the ninth grade in
Wow,
2009, ninth grade.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, after the Civil War, and the child sitting in the
Yes.
ninth grade, and the child sitting down in the ninth grade in Liberia and writing a book. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Um, I would say in terms of maybe when you share this story with some of your friends or so, um, what was the reception like in terms of, especially for teachers or so? Did they give you kind of a push and say, "Oh yeah, this is good" or so? What was it like?
Yes. My English my English instructor, he's late now, Mr. Harris. He was one person that I think he saw the potential that I could write or something. So he actually began the editing. I took it to him and tried gave me some ideas how we could have it like improve on it. So but I wasn't really interested in all of that actually. I just wrote it. Maybe it was just my way of getting all of those experience out of my head,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I took it to a few persons, and my mentor, he's the director for the Kofi Annan Institute, um, Professor Cindy, I took it to him, and he actually started encouraging me that the book can be published. So, but then, in Liberia, how many persons do we have? We only have
Mm.
printing presses here, not publishing house. So it was a blessing for me, when I came in contact with Othniel, Fort Publishing Othniel, and then he read through the manuscript, he wrote back to me that we can have this published. I'm like, published? I said, I got money also. So he did it on a pro bono service, actually. I didn't pay him a dime to do the editing and every other thing that led to the book, even going onto Amazon. So he's
Yeah.
someone that, yes, Othniel, his passion for Liberian literature and everything. So
I mean, in terms of, let me come to the general perspective of writing and reading. You guys started this organization, Morovia Reads. Um, what is your perception now in terms of our interest, our children' interest in reading and writing in general in Liberia? What is it like?
I think it's changing.
Okay.
Yes, we've not been. Yes, we've lost that passion before as a society in terms of reading, and but I think gradually we're getting there. Now you got to also understand that we've had a period of breakdown in our system, the world, you know. So, but gradually we are getting there, and that's why in the first place, through the instrumentality of Kovner, we decided to run Monrovia Reads, where we do it every Saturday. Um,
Mm.
yes, we actually used to go to schools, but one or two, everybody sometimes get busy, so we've slowed down a little with the monthly reading where we'll gather somewhere and then have an audience, and Liberian authors will read to the audience, and then we can interact, you know, through that. But we are changing. Librarians are gradually beginning to, especially the younger generation, are coming back to loving books, because I've had few people reach out to me on Facebook. Someone will send me friend requests. Oh, I saw your book with someone. I read it and I like the book. And okay, and then they will send you pieces. Yes, there are a lot of, and the thing is, there are potentials that we could have more Liberian writers. If you go to the schools, it will amaze you when you go to these various schools. Sometimes you go there to read, and then the next time you go, you see the kind of stories, poems that students will present to you when you get back there. It's amazing. I think it needs the talent need to be grown. Mentorship need to be provided for emerging writers and everything. So, but the landscape is changing gradually. More people will ask you, when you're doing the next book, I read your book, or you get, most of the time you get asked those kinds of questions. You still writing, you read another one, and all of those things. So, yes, we could say due to the war, there was the breakdown in our reading habit and everything. And now you got social media that's taking everyone's attention, but there are still others who find interest in reading, and a lot of them. So we're getting there small, small actually.
So, all right, our studio guest on the Profile Liberia today, Monday, Monday the third, the fourth of March 2019 is Kpana Gaygay. She's here. She's an author as well, and also I can say she's an educator because they have the organization in Liberia called Morovia Reads, where they are actually trying hard to help our children to develop interest in reading and writing as well. So that's what they're doing in that scenario. She's an educator as well. It's great to have her on our guest on our studio on our platform today as a special guest discussing education, and a lot more. Now, you care before we move further. You care to want to hear a little bit, just a short story that you can read for all from the book. Let's hear even whatever 2 3 paragraphs.
That's why I was thinking you would do it at the end of the show. I think it would be
You want
more.
us to do it at the end? Okay, let's do it at the end. Okay, now let's get to the meat point because somebody asked the question already. Um, People are asking in terms of how to get in contact with you. Maybe that includes how maybe somebody can be in the diaspora and get a copy of the book or so. Is it available that I can sit down here in London here and get a
Yeah,
book, or I have to go back
the
home?
book
What
is
is
on
it? Take us through.
Amazon. You can get a book on Amazon. It's been on Amazon for a year now. So those out of Liberia can check Amazon. They will get it. And then if you're in Liberia, Monroe's Chicken, somewhere around the Vamoma area, if you know Monroe's, um, they've been gracious enough to have our books. So once you get to Monroe's, you ask for Daunting Years. Maxine is there. He will surely give you a copy. So right
Oh,
now,
okay.
I can, yes, I have copies with me, but it's easier for you to get it from Monroe's Chicken. Most people have been getting their copies from them. So,
Okay.
but the book is
Um,
on Amazon.
all
The
right.
book
And
is
for
on
the
Amazon.
and for the contact as well. Perhaps just for people who are listening, I think those of you that are watching live, that is a
Facebook. I'm on.
name there.
Yeah, yes, that's my full name on Facebook. So maybe you can like, and I have my fan page as well. The same Kpana Nnadia Gaygay. So
Okay, good. So if you want to get the book, it's also on Amazon. Amazon is quite international. You can stay right in your bedroom and order for it, and it will reach you. It's a good read. I read a little portion of it when I was in December last Christmas, and is really a good read as well. Hopefully this time around, I will make it my holiday reading if I go to Liberia. But I mean, in terms of the book itself, or so, in an overall, general perspective, what are you trying to achieve writing a book in Liberia?
so you read a lot of accounts on the Liberian civil conflict. There's Ellen has hers. This child will be great. There's those are the ones I know. I know there are a lot of them. Then there's one written by Helen Cooper. I think she used to, or she's still working with the Washington Post. Helen Cooper, but now though they try to give historical accounts of things, but then if mine is just like a story because it's a personal experience. And also I think I try to write like you see the title of the book that I bring over what through the eyes of a child, you know. So I think I wanted this to represent and or experiences of not only me as a child, but there were thousands of other children who went through the Civil War. So I didn't know who started the war. That was none of my business in the first place. So all I know was I woke up one morning and we heard gunshots and we had to run away. Like see who it started, how Charles Taylor left, whatever crazy and all of those things. I didn't go into that. There's so many accounts of history as it relates to the Liberian Civil War, but these are actual happenings, life experiences, of a child. So that's basically what I decided to write about. So you're not going to read. That's why I don't have the 2000 so and so thing happened. No, I just flow. It's a narrative, just explaining what it was like, what I felt as a child growing up, and what thousands of other children went through. that we had no business, going through whatever we went through. So if you read Daunting Years, you're not going to. This is no historical account about the Liberian Civil War. This is just a child explaining or narrating her experiences, growing up as a child and experiencing war. So
All right. Once again, her name is Kpana. Okay. Thanks for the question. What is the title of the book? Okay. What we do, we'll
it's
include that.
Daunting Years. DAUNTING.
No. What we'll
Why?
do is what we'll do is we'll have to write it on the video so that people can see it.
Okay. I
I
will
thought
try
you're
to send
watching
you the.
alone.
I will get the Amazon link and then send it to you.
That would be really, really perfect. We can just put it under the video there, and then people will follow it as well. Now,
Okay.
let's link this writing out to Morovia Reads. It's an organization that you people started. Uh, how did they came about, and why did you get involved as well?
Well, the intention was to actually get Liberians to know that, because most of the time when you say Liberians don't like reading, sometimes other people argue that, you know, um, what have you provided the reading population in Liberia to make them to read? And so then you will say Liberians have not been reading. And sometimes many people are not aware that there are actually Liberians out there who are writing, who are making their marks on the literary thing. So that was the one of the main intentions of Monrovia Read, to bring Liberian writers to the Liberian reading population. So like we say, okay, you say you've now been given materials to read. So here are writers. You have to Josiah Dikpele, one of my favorite poets. Yes, so you read Likwede's Scary Dream. Is his is also a collection of poems based on the Liberian Civil War. It's a powerful collection of poems, Scary Dreams, and he writes so well. Those are people in the game that we look up to, and even Ophner, the publisher. And the one thing people don't know is that Ophner write as well. He's a publisher, but then he write as well. So it was even when we had Monrovia Reads running that actually came to also know about other Liberian writers, Elman Shaw, um Vamba Sharif, another great writer. I think you know Vamba, another very powerful
Yeah,
Liberian writer.
yeah.
Yes, and then Hawa, the big sister Hawa getting her name right, Golokai, and there are many Liberian writers out there, the likes of James, Mbasiki, so that was the intent. Bring Liberian writers to the Liberian audience. Let them know that, it is not just Nigerians that are writing, it is not just Nigerian books that you have to read, because that's what we have in our even the curriculum that we have in Liberia. I did Things for a Part in high school. I did The Gods Are Not to Blame. Those are all Nigerian literatures. And it got to me at some point, like, why doesn't our educational sector or the Ministry of Education kind of push for Liberian books to form part of the curriculum? Because even when you're doing literature, English in literature in WAEC, they have WAS now at the WAEC. You have Things for a Part, you're discussing Things for a Part, Animal Farm, and Wilton Sankawulo wrote The Rain and the Night. I don't
Yeah,
know if you've read it, The Rain and the
yeah,
Night.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I, that was I think that's so far one of my favorite stories from
I
Wilton
enjoy.
Sankawulo.
Yeah,
And then you have Batty Mo, Mother in the Cassava Patch. And also there's a collection of poems also by Batty Mo. It's called Ebony Dust.
I even have
So
one of it
why?
here.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah. uh, yeah. So out
A
of
rainy
those
night.
books, yes, Rain and Night, out of those books exist. So why isn't the Ministry of Education working with WAEC to make sure that some of these Liberian books form part of the test. Why should we continue to use things for a part? Nobody, and that's why I always tell people, nobody using things for a part again in Nigeria in the secondary schools. They're not using it. You have other contemporary writers now coming up. Those are books that are being used. But every year, every school year, we are stuck with these things for a part. We are stuck with Animal Farm and all of these Nigerian stories. When there are Liberian writers whose books can be used in our school system, you know. So that was one of the aim as well of Monrovia Read. So and then we decided that we not only read to a group of audience, we also go out to the various schools and then read to the kids so that we can encourage them to not just, it's not go on social media, you on Facebook all day, you post photos. There are things that you can do with your free time because reading teaches you a lot. It helps you with your vocabulary, and then through reading, through an author, you get to travel the world. You have an author or in the US, he write a book, even though you've not traveled to the US, but through that author, through his writings or her writings, you get to know so much about the American society.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why we've actually been encouraging people to do. So
So what's up? How is it being received, especially if you guys are working with schools and the kids? How is it being received, the Morovia Reads?
look, when we started first in 2017, it was annoying. Many times, Opener and I went places and I he quietly pushed me out because there's one few areas that we went to the school because we usually go and then talk with the principal or whoever is the head of the school that okay, we are a team of writers and we would like to come and read to the kids to encourage them to start developing a habit of reading. So and there's this tendency in Liberia that when you see people undertaking certain project or something, maybe they've gotten money from somewhere. So went to a few schools and the principal will be asking also what is school in what does the school stand to gain from this, what in you're bringing. So one time I answered one principal that it didn't satisfy Ovner, so anytime we went somewhere and he kind of threw me out because it was annoying. We tell you that we want to come and read to the children, we want to come and encourage the children to, start developing that habit, that passion for reading and possibly writing. And then you asking what is school, stand to gain. I'm like, nobody gave us money to come read to your school. Nobody gave us money. The only thing sometimes people would spend money say, like to encourage the students, you buy like sweets and other things where you take to the schools. Maybe after reading the story, you ask questions. If someone answer, so you give them candy or something. That's just it. But to think that maybe we've gone and taking a grant or something from one NGO to maybe carry out this project. So you go to a school and they're asking you, what does the school stand to do? I'm like, your students stand a chance of developing their reading habit and possibly writing their own stories tomorrow. That's why you stand to give. We don't have money to give you. Nobody gave us money to get out there. That's something that we do on our own. So it was tough from the beginning, but there were schools that actually embraced the idea. And that's why
Okay.
even today on the Saturday program, you have a lot of young university students that now run the show. Sometimes people ask me, "Oh, you can go on the air again on November." I'm like, the point is, we want to push people out there, same way as I was pushed. Even though I've not arrived, I'm not trying to say like I've arrived. I'm a big author. That's not the point. But when you get pushed, to a certain level, you should be also able and available to push others. And that's what we've been doing. So that's why most of the time I just stay back and let the likes of Janetta, Lexi, all of them, they run the Monrovia hour on the Monrovia Saturday morning. People ask, oh, you want to be part of the Jeleva? I didn't leave, but you have people who are able to handle that excites me more than anything. Someone helped me to have a book published. Someone helped me to get me out there. So the little you can do as well is to help, push other people. So,
All right, her name is Kpana Gaygay. She's here, our studio guest. She's an author as well, Liberian author, based there in Monrovia, Liberia. You'll get to know more details about how, as to how you can get hold of her book. Her account is a good read as well. Whether you have it when you're on break at work or you're on a holiday, you can take it with you. It's a good read. Especially so in the context of supporting one another, supporting social causes, worth getting a copy as well. So it's great to have her on our platform today. But you think, I mean, the children we are having now, you guys been dealing with them for some times, and I was so happy as well when I went. I to Moreover reads. I had some great time with the kids, doing some reading and my book as well, which was great. Are we getting there now in terms of you know trying to encourage our children to take education serious?
yes, yes, we are. And that's why I said you will not know until you go to a school. That's when you will get to know the talents of Liberian students. And like I said earlier, it takes mentoring to help groom most of them. If established writers will take up their time, to pay more attention to emerging writers, we can have a whole new generation of great Liberian writers. So yes, we are getting there. The students and even some adults, you go some or sometimes they come to a Monrovia reads, and after the reading session, some of them like, oh, I've been writing, but sometimes I just write to amuse myself. But seeing the kind of people and the work that you are doing is encouragement, and I'm hopefully going to do my best to have my book published. And sometimes when they read, or sometimes when some of those students send poems to you, you read it, you can be kind of surprised to know that, wow, you mean this person really do this? There are a lot of them, especially, and what I've seen is that most of them are poets. Most of them
Hmm.
are, yes, they're more into poetry than prose. But it's all good, it's all great that we need to encourage one another, actually, especially for us, the emerging writers. It takes mentorship, and I know sometimes it can be hard, especially for our older people. They say we ain't let to pay attention. By the time the son the young people this time, they just feel that they know all, they feel they've arrived. And okay, it may be true for some, but it's not for everyone. There are others who genuinely want to be mentored, and they look for that mentorship. But if you sit down and say that, oh, Liberian children or the young people, they don't want to learn, all they want to do is just get out there, they feel they've made it. So it means you're going to be doing injustice to those ones who genuinely would appreciate you mentoring them, you know. So that's why I always say, for our older writers, those already established authors, I beg them most of the times, like, we need it. If we are going
Okay.
to have a new generation of writers, there are sacrifices that you need to make for some of us. Help us
Wow.
to mentor us, help to nurture us, to nurture our talent. It is one thing for you to have a talent, and it is another thing, you have to nurture it. You need to develop upon it. It's not just about you writing and everything. There are other things that entails writing. So to our older authors out there, we need a mentorship. We need it. Yes, there are people who feel they don't need it, but there are genuinely some of us who seek that mentorship. Talk to us, take the time off to talk to us. When we reach out to you, at least try and respond to us. There are some of us who honestly need you to talk to us, what we need to do to navigate through, you know.
So how far are you guys willing to or prepared to take Morovia race? Because for right now, you only doing it in Monserrado, is it? Or have you gone out of town?
Yes, no, we've not actually gone out of time, out of town rather. We decided to do this first in Montserrat and see how it is embraced, and then later on. But you see, also going out of town is not an issue, but sometimes you will need the support. All of what we've been
Yeah.
doing, going around Montserrat, we've done it on our own actually. So if you decide to leave from here to go to Banga, you shouldn't need, transportation. And so it's tight right now. So we're dealing with Montserrado. Hopefully people can come on board. We take the proposals to these corporations sometimes to help sponsor some of these readings, but it's still tight. That's why I said yes. The stage is still tight. People don't really want to support right now, but we're hoping that gradually it will change. The perception, the mindset will change, and we'll have people supporting some of these um, reading sessions. And then we can
Okay.
be able to go out of town.
Wow. Her name is Kpana. Once again, if you want to find her on Facebook, especially for those of you that are watching live, that's her full name that she's using. Jatu says here, thanks, dear, for the courage. Keep it up. Thank you so much. George Tutu say, Kpana, do you think you have achieved your goal? All right, but now, this is the question I was actually keeping for you. But think, let me just pick it up from the brother George. He asking you, have you think you achieved your goal already? Because you at least you are now an author in Liberia.
No, I don't think that's why I say that I've gone nowhere. I'm just starting. So
Wow.
I don't know if he's asking in terms of the book, what the book intended to achieve. And one of the things was that, you know, maybe writing my experiences as a child. One thing was to help us, especially for some people who were born who may not have experienced much of the war. If we read accounts, that's why during the elections, even though most of us were on, other side, but even in our talking, even now when we talk, a lot of issues happening in government, when some of us are talking, we speak with caution because we know what we've gone through, and I'm never prepared to have to go through whatever we went through for the last 14 years. None of us are ready to go through that again. So we write so that my children will read, and that's why I said one time that at least my daughter, my son will be able to read only about war in Liberia through the book their mother wrote, and not be not, that will never go through it themselves to experience war.
Yeah.
That is, "Oh, my mother went through this 50, 60 years ago." That's enough. The intention is that we don't want to go back to war, so we write so that generations after us can read and know what this country went through, and that they will make every effort to
Yeah.
make sure that Liberia never go back to her dark past.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if that's
Wow.
what George is asking, and even if that's the question he asked, if the book has achieved its goal, I think it is achieving the goal. For the fact that there are a lot of young people who are reading not just my book but other Liberian books around. So the
Mm.
goal is not just a one-time thing, it is going to be gradual. Generations upon generations will come, and
Yeah.
hopefully they will be around that people will read. So it's a continuing process. And in terms of whether I've arrived as an author, I'm nowhere. I'm just even starting. So in my mind, I'm just
Yeah,
starting. That's why
you have not even
yeah,
started yet. That's great. Yeah, great ambition.
that's why that's why we are asking for the mentorship
Yeah.
from or other or Liberian writers to help us, to mentor us, to teach us how to go
Yeah,
about this.
maybe a brother like George that asking the question as well. He can also be a mentor as well, a mentor.
Exactly. That's
That's
why I say,
great.
and when in mentorship, I don't think it's not just about to writing. I mean, like in every sector, in every career, at least you should be able to groom someone after you.
Yeah.
Be able to groom someone, yes. And like the recent death of the guy who blew the horn for the president, it was after his death people started asking questions if he thought someone that would take after him. Most of the time, this is not being done. And like I said, people will always say that the youth they don't want to learn. They feel that they know everything, so we don't pay attention to them. But and that's why I say there are some of us who honestly want to learn. So as someone try to find that particular youth that you see and
Yeah.
you know that the person honestly want to learn and bring that person under your wing. So it's not just about authors, it's about every career. If you are a doctor, you see a young person who's interested,
Yeah.
try to help mentor that person, help them. You can do it, you can be a doctor. Because you see in Liberia now, like when universities are graduating, you find out that business college and those are places you find the population. Even usually at UL, the business college is called the Chinese university because that the
Right.
population is always more than all the other colleges. So if you are an engineer, there's one young Liberian at the University of Liberia, studying engineering. Why not begin to encourage that person, bring he or she under your arm and help them, to teach them.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not just speaking about writers, but I mean in every aspect of our life, in terms of career and other things.
Yeah, we need mentor. That very, very well. Yeah, indeed. I think stories that there's, in fact, what I normally see in the Western world is, somebody will grab it quickly from the, movie or theater aspect and then turn it into, an actual performance, on stage. Stories that they've got. There was this guy from Sierra Leone. He was he's a little boy as well when he escaped the war and ended up in Sierra Leone. Kamara Alai, and his account of his personal experience in the war actually it went global. Maybe only because he landed in America. He didn't stay in Sierra Leone to write the book or so. Perhaps he wouldn't have gone anywhere. So. But I mean,
Yes.
book like yours, to be honest, yeah, you have the kind of a personal account of story like what you're talking about. Somebody who escaped the war, perhaps they were about 2 years old and they had the opportunity to leave the war, but they're from Liberia. When they read this book, they can actually just put themselves in that shoe and say, oh, wow, this is what my family went through. This is what Liberian went through, or so,
Mhm.
and begin to question themselves that perhaps, like, whatever we say, whatever that will have to cover up, come around us that will create that sense of wanting to go back to where we came from. When you read a kind of a book, you say, no, 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 I don't think so. Even though I didn't see it, I wasn't there. Or with this personal account of Bana, no, no, I don't think so. So it's a great. Thank you so much. I know time fast spent. Let's talk a little bit about Liberia. Let me take you out of your own comfort zone now and talk a little bit about normal Liberia. Um, how are you? Have you condensed the latest development? I know you've been following this issue of this money missing, money not missing issue and thing. The latest development now, the Crow actually report also. Have you condensed the whole news and you say, well, this is where I am now. I think how are you dealing with the whole thing? Are you one of those? Are you still sitting in the fence, on top of the fence?
Um, Max, when the news first broke up last year about money, going missing, it shook Liberia, it shook everyone, and this is beyond party, this is beyond partisanship. This concerns Liberia. So it shook Liberians even here or abroad when that news broke up that money may have gone missing in the tune of, and it wasn't just $100, $200, 1,000, 1 million, but billions of Liberian dollars supposedly went missing. And there were demonstrations. Okay, there was one particular one, they bring back our money campaign, where people got in the streets and call on our international partners
Yeah.
to help investigate. And even the president, Mr. Weah, asked the US government to actually assist Liberia in this investigation and also set up his own presidential investigation team, to investigate the money. And recently, the reports were released. The USA released her own. That's through Crow. I don't know if Crow released the report, and then the PRT, which is the government-owned sanction investigations, were released. And at the end of the day, there's this the discussions is still ongoing, and even there are arrests that have been made, or more arrests will be made as it relates to the money board. It's frustrating, Max, that people will sit down and feel really comfortable knowing the population of this country. We are roughly about 5 million. And you look at the state of things in Liberia, you feel frustrated. You don't have to travel to know that Liberia is actually backward. You don't have to travel to know that.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's why I say you watch movies, especially for some of us that love African movies. You watch movies. I'm not saying that it is bread and butter in the region or in other places, but given our population, Liberia shouldn't be at this place she is right now. So it gets frustrating. It gets really disappointing when a report come up showing that someone who was responsible to print a certain amount of money will go ahead for whatever reason print their own amount that they want to print, and at the end of the day the money cannot be properly accounted for. And you have people coming up with a whole lot of defense, like, oh, they say money loss. They say it cannot be accounted for. So if something is not accounted for, especially money, what happened to it? What happened if you cannot account for money or for anything that was given to you if you cannot account for it? What does that mean? If certain thing was placed in your care and at the end of the day you cannot account for it, what are you trying to tell me? Especially the money. So where is the money? Since you are telling us that they didn't, the money they didn't go missing. They said, yeah, discrepancies. Since they know too much, but some of us we know book, but talking about, oh, they said discrepancies, blah 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 blah. And I got a little frustrated yesterday when I was watching a live video of the arrival of the president. And the only thing is so much, from what I'm learning, from what I've learned, even from supporters of this government, and even being confirmed yesterday by Mr. Weah himself, it is frustrating to realize that his concern all along since the news broke out that money went missing, his
Yeah.
concern all along has been whether his government will be implicated. And so that was the only thing you could say yesterday, to say that we knew all along that our government will be vindicated. So what are you really saying? So the concern is not whether money actually got missing or didn't get missing. The concern was only that, at the end of the day, his government wouldn't be involved. The kind not in 2018. Mr. Weah has been president since January 2018. So, and most of the last part of the transactions of the money business happened in 2018. So what vindicates your government? And also, government is about continuity. So if you sit down and say we knew our government will be vindicated, what are you trying to say? There's no way you would divorce yourself right now from this whole thing, especially when there's also an aspect of this whole money issue concerning the 25 million that was, quote unquote, infused in a mop up excess Liberian dollars. So it is frustrating actually to note because if you go out there, or some of us that live, there are people, some of them, they live in this kind of bubble. So they will tell you that everything is okay. Since maybe they can afford, they go to the market and afford to buy anything that they want to buy. So they come out and tell you that everything is okay. And that's why the other time I was challenging someone, say, talk to your ERBC people, let them take the OB crew and go to red light. Since they always saying that everything is okay, Liberians are happy with Mr. Weah and his government and everything, can you just take ERBC and go in red light live and get the views of ordinary Liberians, and then come back and tell me that everything is okay based on the views we collect out there? So it is frustrating. And that's why even at the beginning, Samuel Tuer told us, the finance minister told us that they actually took money and carried to forex bureaus around to do the mop up instead of going through the banks. So some of us are not financial experts. I'm nowhere even near anything like that. But in my layman sense, you will take millions of dollars and walk in the street to exchange it. Then what happens?
You
Are
know,
there not laws on the book? Yes.
I mean, the analysis you're giving us, especially these are the people that we're talking about, we are concerned about. The people that are way at the bottom there. When you go to them, especially when you go to our mothers, our aunties in the market and engage them, because they are the one that actually picking it up and trying to put the pieces together to send the children to school, to make sure that when they come from school, they eat. When they tell you how life is, those are the people you're supposed to believe. That yes, life is really good. Oh yes, life is tough. Those are the people. Yesterday the president returned. I mean, listening to him yesterday when he got to the point where he said that Liberian people are actually happy with the news or with the report, I was a bit baffled. From your observation now so far, as far as the reception from the Liberian community is concerned, whether it's in your community or you're moving around also, from the onset of this money saga to this point, how would you say the Liberian people are actually behaving? Are they disappointed or you kind of mixed feelings?
Yes. The truth is, ordinary Liberians are disappointed, frustrated that given the high cost of living right now, that such amount of money will actually go missing or will be misappropriated, and when people try to defend this thing that past government, that present government, blah 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 blah, what what are they considering, especially the ordinary Liberians, that this particular money would have affected, the livelihood rather, I mean, how are they feeling? Do they think about those people, or it is just maybe the few of them that sit in a circle? Are they the only ones that they think about, or do they give a thought about some of us as ordinary Liberians? Right now, even $100 will not even cook you dry rice. $100 Liberian dollars right now came dry rice. You know, I haven't gone in the market for a while. So Saturday, their sister went to the market and she came back, and she was telling me that, you know, the mineral bottle, the large one, that what the people use to sell the oil in, you know, in the market. The very big mineral bottle that we
Yeah.
were buying somewhere around $350 Liberian. It will shock you to know now that that mineral bottle of oil right now is $700 Liberian.
So it's nearly five. It's nearly five USD.
Suppose five, yes, that's $4.50. Given the US rate right now, that's almost $4.50. $700 Liberian. Now, so imagine someone who got $500 with them. What can they cook with that $500? Given the rate, and you say you use that money since you didn't want the bureaucracy, you took the money and carried directly to money exchangers. What is the effect? What's the rate right now? How long? How long were they able to stabilize the rate?
Yeah.
I don't need a financial expert to come and explain that to me. So,
Yeah.
given the time that Mr. Weah announced that they were, you know, bringing 25 million.
Mm. All right, I think we're getting an interruption from Kpana there in Monrovia, Liberia. Let me quickly go on my dashboard while we reconnect with Kpana. Let's hold
Yes.
Kpana there a little bit. Kpana, let me hold you there a little bit. Let me just take some concerns here from Liberians that are following. Mo Ali say most of them have not read the reports. Oh yes, indeed, I agree with you. Augustine Chia is think he's asking a question. But now, was the 25 million US dollar infused into the economy? I think that's the point that Pana was just talking about. We'll go back to her to reiterate on that. Whether she really saw it, but I think she was just talking about it right now. Okay, Samuel said both reports says there is discrepancies, means something is missing or not correct. There's a problem with the business of the country economy. Yes, I agree with you. Mo Ali says, so those arrested, with the exception of Milton Weeks, are not members of the government, right? I think President Weah misspoke. Okay, let me see. Let's go further. Let's see. Okay, let me see. All right, Augustine is back. Augustine Chie. The banks are telling us that they don't have documents on the US 25 million on how the money had been infused into the economy. And finally, let's get the one from Samuel Oduwale. He said the only way any situation can be solved or fixed is to admit that something is wrong, but to deny when there is a problem, the situation cannot be corrected or rectified, or to find a solution, which is difficult, and such situation cannot be better because of denying the truth of the situation. Indeed, that is it. Pana, I mean, you were just talking about this $25 million that the minister said at the time that it was infused in the economy, because you're on the ground. Besides that, you got family, but when something like this happens, when the exchange rate go up, you'll feel it. When it comes down, you will feel it. You will know as well.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever amount they put on the market during that time, did you actually had the feeling that
That's
something
why
like that
I asked
happened?
the question, what did it change? Nothing changed. Nothing changed then, and nothing has changed now. And right now, we even see the rate is going up again. So right now, you will change $1 US for either around 161 Liberian dollars or 162 or 163. So someone's talking about you not understanding. They didn't say money went missing. Look, Max, if you want to do something properly, if you have no intent of doing something different, you will do things properly. Now let's look at the 25 million issue, right? The PRT report says that they were not provided with adequate or documentation to prove how the money was the exchange was done. There's even one account that shows that says that they asked one team because they divided the group into teams. So one team presented handwritten or sheet to them that contain information stating how they carry out the exchange. Seriously, you're not talking even about $1,000 US. You're talking about millions of dollars, and somebody go sit down and write piece or note and give it to you. So what do you want to tell me? There are accounts where they went a business that they said they gave certain amount to the business under issue or the business is claiming that they were only giving 5,000 in the exchange. The exchange transaction that took place was about 5,000, while they have over thousands of dollars that the particular team is claiming. So where is that money? If you cannot provide correct documents to prove that you carry out this exchange process or this mop-up exercise, you carry out properly, you cannot provide proper documentation. What does that tell me? What do you want me to think, that you have the money somewhere? If you wanted to do it the right way, you are going to follow the proper channel in carrying out this mop-up exercise. So I don't know what people are trying to defend here. I agreed, and that's why I'm saying I'm no financial expert, and I'm not even claiming to be one. I'm just speaking my mind as an ordinary Liberian because this affects me greatly. So if people don't see the sense in that, and they think that you would want to tell me that some of us will not read with understanding, I don't know why people think that some people at Liberians are so stupid. Liberians are not stupid. It's not possible. Even Samuel Tuer himself, let's assume he's even doing a construction work. So your contractor with that kind of red note, you give me 10,000. Okay, I bought zinc, I bought wood, I bought this. They give you a piece of paper. Seriously, don't you want receipt showing how that 10,000 was spent? And there's not even $10,000 we're talking about. One person claiming 17 million, one person claiming 15 million, one person claiming 14 million. The figures don't even add up. So what are you telling us? So the brother that's saying, if I don't understand, I should go and read. I've read this report over and over. Some of us, we try to talk with understanding. We try to be careful when we talk. So if there's a report out, I've made sure that I've read that report and it doesn't add up. You will go and take that amount of money and pass it around. And that's why there are even claims that most of that money may have landed in the wrong hands. They're not even seeing the implications, what that would lead to. Once upon a time, we started hearing news that, there were Hezbollah or operators in Liberia. That's a terrorist group. There are chances that that money may have landed in anybody's hand, in the wrong hands. They did not care to know if this business was registered, whether the business was tax compliant, nothing like that. Or you go and take Liberian dollars from someone. Seriously, what do you want us to believe in that case? If you cannot provide us list of businesses or institutions that you deal with in this mop-up exercise, what are we to believe? So you don't want me to tell you that they may have stolen the money? Until you can provide. I didn't say the report is not saying they stole money. Agree, yes. But in my layman understanding, if we cannot account for every cent of that, or whether 14 or 17 million that you use in your mop-up exercise, if we cannot account for every cent, even an investigation conducted also have issues with how you carry out the process, it means there was something dubious that went on. You can't even account for the places you say you carry so amount of when you go, and the business will not be stupid. You came and gave me 5,000 to, you exchange 5,000 US dollars with me, and I gave you like the equivalent in Liberian dollars, and then you go and write documents stating that you gave me maybe 150,000. You think I'm going to take that blame? You think businesses are stupid? So that's why they will not provide a listing, because they know what they did. So I don't know what they want us to believe, Max.
You know, but you know, the point I gave of the last time on on this report, when they were quoting in the newspaper, quoting the finance minister that according to the investigative team that they put together. Come on, man! I gave up on that point when I got to that to that part of that story where they were saying it is mentioned in the report in the newspaper that those that took the money to across the bridge or to the bureaus and things, they took their email addresses, they took their names, and they took mobile phone contact. I said, what? Liberia? You talking about me email address? Yeah. And you're talking about going to give somebody maybe some kind of $5,000 on the sidewalk, and you say you're going to only take their name, you're going to take their email address and take what phone number, and you leave them with $5,000 that you don't know them. Man,
and that's dead, the thing. Exactly. So that's why I said like Samuel 12, and that's why when I started, I said like Samuel 12 thinks the Liberian people are stupid, and we're not stupid. You know, if you will come up to us, not okay, because you feel maybe you are a financial expert or whatever, and you come up to tell us that, and that's why I keep emphasizing on the amount. This is not just $5,000 Liberian or something we're talking about. You know, that we say yeah, I just small money. You're talking about millions of dollars, and you tell us that you just took it and pass it around and give it to people that you cannot even properly identify. And that's one of the point that or the PRT made. That's the Presidential Investigation Team. That's one of the points they made. Most of these businesses, they can't name the businesses. They can't locate where the businesses are. Give us the name of the businesses. Maybe we'll do our own citizens investigation and go to those places and ask them. Because this is not about whether this is because we are government or that any government is happening. This is about our money.
Yeah.
This is about our money. This
all right, ladies and gentlemen, her name is Kpana. Kpana is our studio guest today. Time for spend. We're almost finishing. Tomorrow, reporter of tomorrow, reporter, one of the reporters of Front Page Africa, TC Bole, will be our studio guest tomorrow on the show, Profile Liberia. And we'll be profiling because it's been covering a whole lot about this story as well. And we'll be following them tomorrow. But let me take some of your points again and just pass it on to the rest. Amos George said the Minister of Finance need to be arrested. The report indicted the government. Right, he's speaking his mind as well. Mo Ali, the finance minister, admitted that they did not follow conventional method in conducting the mop of excess. I mean, exercise, even that alone is an indictment. We did not follow the rules.
Exactly.
Augustine says, Augustine say, Kpana, you are covered with the blood of Jesus. Thank you. Lovetta Tugwe, okay, social justice advocate, smart lady, thank you. Okay, the government is joking. That's Augustine Chie. And Amos George is back. He says, George, we have never read that report. That's why he is saying that his government is vindicated. And finally, this one says here, Samuel Zwali, he said, the only way you will know that there have been a change in Liberia is when people in Liberia will stop asking family, relatives, and friends to send them American dollars to live or to survive. Okay, let me expand it a little bit more or to survive. As long as there is no job opportunities for the citizens of masses to make money in order to book after their families, but still depending on people in the diaspora to send them money, it shows that nothing has changed. And finally, Mapalaya Newton said Liberians need to stand up. Liberia needs to stand up. Let's wrap up. Let's go back. Let me take you back to. Okay, let me read this one. We just come in. Samuel said, Kpana, you are right. This situation is not about political parties or ruling party. It is about the Liberia people. money and the country economy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But now let me take you just before we wrap up. Let me just remind you that you're listening to the program Profile Liberia. Kpana is our studio guest today. She is actually an author. If you look under the video now, we just sent you the link. The title of the book. If you go on Amazon, those of us are in the diaspora, you can find her book. It's on Amazon. That's really great. We're in Liberia. If you find your book on Amazon, that's really good. So the title of the book is Daunting Years. Daunting Years, the Liberian Civil War. So she tried to, as a child, growing up in the midst of the Civil War, she have recollected and put really good thing together, her own personal accounts of what she could remember. So it's a good read for those of you in the diaspora. You can check the Amazon, go to amazon.com, and that is a book title there. Through that, you'll be able to order one to reach you. But quickly, let's go back just before we leave you. But I want to start off with okay. I want to start off with Augustine S. question. Hello, says Kpana. I must implore you for hard work, for the hard work. The starting of everything is very difficult, but thank God for you. Quick question: what is the main point writing this book? To be used as textbook or something else? Now, I'll keep that question in mind now and come back. Let's come down. Maybe when you address that question, and then maybe we can do one page or a few paragraphs of the book for us just before you leave.
Okay, so well, um, if the of education to make, and like I said earlier, it's not just about my book, but there are other Liberian books that I believe should form part of the curriculum in terms of the reading materials for the students. So the education ministry can take these books, because they have their own standards on books that they will place in the system. So take these Liberian books, look at them. If they meet your standard, have them placed, as in the school systems for reading. And even teachers can use these materials. In English, you do reading and comprehension. So there are a lot of times that you can take even a chapter of this book and then have students read and do book review and other things. All of that help to build the students. So yes, if the ministry find it necessary to use this book as a textbook within the Liberian school system, that's okay. If they don't, people are still reading the book, and people are going to get the message from the book. They're going to read and they're going to understand what happened and the need for us to do our best to uphold this peace that we're enjoying, to make sure that we don't go back. And that's why when some of these things are happening, it worries us, you know because if hungry, if you have half of the population going to bed hungry, or max, in a mix of plenty, that should be a concern to you.
Yeah.
You know what this report could bring, and then they will want to put everything you doing, everything the problem and everything the opposition. Tomorrow, if people decide to get out in the street there, exercise their constitutional right to peacefully assemble and ask the government what they are doing about this money business, people will say that only that opposition, the opposition don't have anything to do. All they do is someone. So if this is the only means through which you will listen to your people, it means something. Because there are a lot of things that have been happening that people have been talking about, and it's like the government don't care. They pay deaf ear to most of the things that they do. A lot of things go on. You had a fish issue or this fishing document that was signed. There was so much noise about that Cameroonian deal that was signed about bringing fishermen from Cameroon. That deal still went ahead. Even after the public outcry, there's also the issue at the port where they had this tracking system. Max line and other shipping line provide you with a tracking system when you bring it or continue into the country, where you can track the traveling of the continuum, how far it is when it is due in Liberia. So you come and put another cost on importers. Despite what they are paying to merge line and other shipping line, you say they should go to this particular office again and get another tracking number for their shipment. So Max, tell me, you know that every cent that an importer spends to bring a goods into this country, indirectly, we as the consumers of that goods will be paying the taxes that they are paying, we will be paying it indirectly. So when prices of goods and commodities go high, do you want us to cry? So if you develop a particular something and you find out that there's too much public outcry, take a step back and listen to what the people are saying. But it seems that the people ain't care. This government doesn't seem to care about what people are saying. Anybody that talk about something that's going on wrong, you opposition, you against the government. In fact, they say hate position now. You hate George Weah. Seriously? And that's why I tell people, Max, I live in Liberia. If this country break down, what happened to me? To get hard in Liberia, what happened to me? So why would I want to see Liberia going backward only because you think I hate Mr. Weah? So I want to I pray every day that everything should go bad for this government. Seriously? Does that make sense? The rice that we buying expensive, is it only opposition that's buying rice expensive or even other things in the market? Whether you Civition or you United Party partisan, whoever you are, all of us are suffering, all of us feeling the high prices on the market. So how can I pray that this government shouldn't succeed, that everything should continue to go hard for this government? Who does that? What sense does that make? But when some of us talk, it is because we want to be able to live at least so that we'll be able to make to provide for ourselves, so that when we get our lay $100 or $200 you can take it to the market and like your lay dry rice and red oil, you can afford to buy it, come home and eat. That's better. But if I buy one cup of rice, 100 US Liberian dollars rather for one cup of rice. So where people are taking the money from to buy soup? And you see, I get angry, Max, because I live in a community with and I know neighbors who sometimes will only eat twice a week. And those neighbors have children with them. The people eat twice a week. So it is not because you feel you can afford, so you don't think about the other person. Like I posted the other time, I told I told one guy, he's a neighbor and his girlfriend, she was pregnant, she was in pain. 2 a.m. the boy woke me up to help them, drive them to the clinic. We went to the clinic here in Dupo Road. Max the whole place in darkness, no light. The boy said they can't take us because they didn't get like that delivery. And you don't blame them. So I asked the guy, how about ambulance? Because I was honestly sleepy. I needed to come and sleep. I'm driving in the night and sleeping. It's not safe. So I asked about ambulance. The guy told me, say, if we buy gas to put it in the ambulance will come carry the woman. I'm like, seriously? Yes. I'm not saying anywhere with the Dubo Road clinic here in Dubo Road. Go there in the night if you will see light. No light. So that way you have an emergency, you either go to JFK. So that night, the guy I carried didn't even have the money. So I will go there and say, buy gas to put it in the ambulance. I had to sit down behind that wheel and took those people to JFK. Yeah? So when some of us are talking, it is because of what we see in the places that we live. We don't live in bubbles or in fenced houses like most of them, so they feel everything is okay in this country. That's not the point. And this issue about this hospital issue is not something that's happening in this government. It happened even during Eddie's time. But one thing that this government needs to know, the one thing that they should know when people are talking is the kind of faith that the Liberian population places in George Weah. The way people believe in George Weah, that's why they voted for him. Out of all the candidates that contested, at the end of the day, it was PN or Ambassador Boycott. And over 50% of the population decided that they will vote for Mr. Weah because of what they believe he could do for them. So at this stage, If you cannot even meet up, if you cannot even create an environment for the people to be able to feed themselves, and then you won't be talking different thing and hold it that opposition that you think everything is okay. That's not true. We are the ones that live in this community with the people and we see what they go through. So see really need to they need to forget about this the or campaign mode that they're still they're trying to defend everything. That's not how
Yeah.
you support someone.
But they are telling the opposition that they are staying camping more. Anyway, look, Pana,
Yes.
because of time, let's hold you there. Let me share some point and then we'll get your final departing statement. Amos George say, I want to
So
congratulate
seriously, that's it.
the
George Weah, look, the faith that people place in George Weah, if he doesn't do much to lift the Liberians out of that state, it is not just about going somewhere and build 4 or 5 houses and you put people inside and feel you've lifted people out of poverty. Create an enabling environment for the people so that they can fend for themselves.
yeah.
That's what we want. Nobody asking you to come share money around. No. Create that environment. Yes, for 12 years, Ellen didn't create an enabling environment for people to be able to work and provide for themselves and their family. That's why people look up to you. You know, you are you are a president that over half of the voting population voted for in 2017. So that shows how much faith the people have in you. So if at this
Especially,
point, when you do, yes, when you do something and when people talk, you say, and they did it for 12 years. Seriously, is that a mindset you coming to lead with? Because Ellen did it for 12 years. You came with the platform of change. You say you were changing things. What are you changing? What? The news of Mr. We are building or estate or whatever for himself. They've not addressed that. He hasn't even said anything about that. People get that in mind that, oh, the man using our money to build places for himself. His house on Nash was demolished. All of those things you're not addressing. People keeping those things at the back of their mind. And I just laugh at them when they talk about that you're always still on inside at 12 years, at 23 years, whatever. That's not the point. What are you doing from now to 2023 that will encourage the people to vote for you? Especially with the faith that the people have in George Weah. If he doesn't do anything for them to see, it's gonna be
well,
hard for him.
Pana, the only thing you have to be you have to remember is that you can still see anyway. You can see you're on social media, you're on the ground in Liberia. People are still responding in a way that somebody is God. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the program Profile Liberia. Our studio guest is Kpana Nnadia Gaygay. She's an author, sorry, and also an educator. She's our studio guest. We're just about wrapping up. Let me just take these few comments from all of you. Amos George says here, I want to congratulate the lady for job well done. That is Kpana. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Samuel say, in some of people should realize that presidents and governments have come and gone in the past, but the economy situation is left with the ordinary Liberian people to deal with the problem. So it's with this president and government who at the end of their office. All right, and quickly, this one, Augustine, he was in Liberia last December, which is very okay for us. That yeah, I mean, from 2010, let me just be specific to you. From 2010, I'm in Liberia twice a year, except the Ebola, the 2 Ebola years. I didn't go home, but twice a year I am in Liberia. In fact, as I speak to you, I am on my way. I just came from there in January. I'm on my way back there for another 2 months. I think you just start following me. So keep your eyes. Once I'm in Liberia, you will be informed and get to know about everything. Liberia problem is indeed Liberian. William Kennedy is saying that. Finally, thank you very much for the book. I'd love to encourage, based on the piece of I read, I just like to encourage Liberians and also listening to you, because I attended one of the programs where were doing the reading and you read there as well. Listening to you as well was great. I just want to encourage Liberians, especially those of you in the diaspora, if you go to Amazon and just find the book, it will come to your address right away. Very, very, it's a very good read. Let me just encourage you as well to take a copy. In a way, you're doing it maybe in two ways. uh, you using it as a material to learn from, and also you also supporting Hannah in a way and appreciating her for the work she's doing. So at least we can empower her to write another one, so we can continue to enjoy. All right, Augustine, Fana, let me take this one from Augustine. He said, Fana, you think uh, you would be better off the Constitution to be taught in school because our people don't know the Constitution. Okay, you're in education now. You're dealing with children every day. You think it's a good idea that we should go back to civic education?
But in the first place, even the Constitution states that the government should make sure that the Constitution is taught. So, at the service when I was in high school, so I'm not sure if schools are still teaching civics, but I think it is very important that, from elementary up to 12th grade, that the Constitution should be a subject on its own that should be taught, even if it
Oh,
is
really?
not, yeah, even if it is not graded, but it should be compulsory that the Constitution be taught in the schools across Liberia. It is very important. It will help us to understand how our government works and to know that they are obligated to us. It's like we employing them. We employ them, so they are answerable to us. So that's why when we're talking and someone will say you didn't vote for, so what? I didn't vote for Mr. Weah, but how many percent did he get during the election? It means half of the voting population at the time saw what I did not see in Mr. Weah, and so they voted for him. That doesn't make him the president of only the people that voted him. It makes him the president of the Republic of Liberia. That's why he's not president of CDC, but he's president of the Republic of Liberia. So he's answerable to every Liberian. So the Constitution, yes, it should be taught in the schools. It will help greatly so that we can be able, it will help Liberians in dealing with the issue of being able to hold our leaders accountable, especially elected officials, to hold them accountable, and even hold the president accountable. And one of the things that I always say, Max, that we get wrong most of the time, when we talk about the government, we just think it is only the president that sits up there. Most of the time, I tell people, your lawmakers, the senators and representatives that you elect, those are your direct representatives. So it's like they are your voice to or they are your voice in the house or in the government. So that's why any issue you have, that's why they have to come back to you every year to report to you that during the year honor review we did so and so and so and so. That's why even when it comes to passing bills and things, sometimes they say we got to go back to our constituents to hear from them whether they want this bill passed, what is the positions of these bills and other those things. So if the constitution is taught, it will really be good actually. So hopefully the government and the education ministry can work on that to make sure that it is taught in the Liberian schools.
All right. Anything finally you want to share with us just before we let you go? At least you have given us more than 1 hour today. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me too, Max. So, before I maybe will read a page or so, this issue, honestly, Mr. Weah needs to handle this issue with serious care. And the careless talking from the supporters or whatever, the situation. This is not
That
about
is all.
opposition. Like I said earlier, this is about Liberia. This is about the ordinary Liberian that I see every day. So it is not just because I can afford to eat rice and soup and my neighbor eating white rice twice a week and then I feel Liberia is okay. No, it goes beyond me. So the last of the least persons in Liberia. So this issue of this money needs to be handled with care. They shouldn't handle it out of sentiment. you know, maybe or holding certain group accountable and leaving others out. No, everyone involved with this the issue of the 16 billion and the 25 million should be made to account for every penny. They should be made to account for every penny. And that's why I said the last time, this money issue will make or break Mr. Weah's administration, whether they like it or not. This money issue, the way it will be handled, will make or break his administration and even the lifetime presidency that he's talking about. It will start from this money issue. The way the government will handle this issue will determine how far he will go. So no opposition is going to cause any problem for Liberia because opposition themselves are Liberians. So, but Mr. Weah needs to handle this money issue with care, with caution, not out of sentiment that has he started that his government has been vindicated. Vindicated from what? Has your Samuel Twe or giving us a full detail of how this mop-up exercise was done? I don't know if he even read a report coming up with that claim. So please, Mr. Weah, this goes beyond you as president. This goes beyond your officials. This is about Liberia. This is about Liberians. The ordinary ones that were in the sun, chanting your name all around, stood up in that line and voted for you. Imagine we voted right after or celebrating Christmas, you know, with all that hangover of the celebration. People still went in their numbers and voted for you. That should tell you something. That's the mandate that should be at the back of your mind when you are talking, when you are taking action as it relates to happiness in the country. Thank you very much for having me, Max. I appreciate it so much.
And I mean, we just want to say thank you as well. Please, when you go, please come back on the video there. There are questions there, I think. Please come back later to watch the video and then you can respond to the questions as well, because I think people are asking about the book as well, so you can give them more information after we finish. But on this note, we just want to say we want to appreciate you and want to say thank you for the job. Thank you for this story you're sharing with us, your experience, you know, during the Civil War, well, during the civil madness in Liberia, and you know how you intend to educate us as to, you know, what we should be mindful of, so that we can avoid anything of that nature tomorrow. Thank you, and thank you for your time as well. Thanks for accepting our invitation. Please keep your lines open as usual. We'll get to you again when we need you on here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
All right, guys. For being there. Thanks for your contribution as well. It was wonderful to have Kpana here. A young woman with great ambition. It's not easy to find writers from Liberia. So at the age of 9, imagine. Wow. Giving account of her own experience during the Civil War. During that madness that took place. Oh look, it's a book good to read. Even for some of us in the diaspora here, you know, we can sit down sometimes, we start telling our children about back home, where we come from, our country and things. And just like me every time and then. This time and now when I go, I think I'll bring about 2 copies and just give it to my kids to read. You want to know about Liberia, about what I went through before I came here? Read this book, my child. Yes, it's a good read, even to educate our children about where we come from, what we went through, what our country went through. Our children in the diaspora they have no clue. Even some of us, we ourselves, we are now adults. We have no clue how it went on in Liberia. Yes, except for some of us. Yes, as a young man growing up, 10 years in the midst of Civil War. 10 years I saw everything. Oh yes, right before me in Greystone. Twice. Human beings were scattered. They scattered them like the sand. Yes. call it mortar, right? The shelling of the city. So I know what I'm talking about here. Thank you so much, young woman. God bless you. And thanks for Morovia Reeds as well. Some of you that are not part of Morovia Reeds, please get involved as well. I want the children to get close to the book. Some are saying education is not important. It's not a priority. But please don't believe that one. Let's support the kids. Until another time, man. Tomorrow in the afternoon we'll be here once again at 1:30. TC Bolly of the Front Page Africa will be our studio guest tomorrow on Profile Liberia. But this evening we are back. Christian Nekofo Nelson of Radio LIB will be here live with me this evening at 6 o'clock. We'll be going into the Crow investigation report. We are not just analyzing here, we're reading it word by word. What we're doing on the show here. So join us later on this evening. We're doing that again. We're reading that report word by word. Then we analyze it so that you too can have a great picture of what is it that was written there. All right, until then, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless the continent of Africa. Above all else, God bless Mama Liberia. I am out for now. Alright, just take this one from Nigeria. Fresh, just before the election, with flop politicians. I'll come a bit earlier today so you can see the video of this song. How the beating politician, you can't believe it. This guy. Okay, guys, thank you so much. God bless you. Oh, for one now, one be president.